Good morning, Rise in Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Looks like we made it. It's Friday, baby. Yeah. I'm so excited. Gosh, this was one of those days where just every day you wake up and you're just like, bleh. You're like a slug, right? You leave a slime trail when you leave bed in the morning because you're just so sluggish, if you will. But thankfully we made it, and I'm in a great mood today now because, of course, it's Family Friday, which means the lovely, the beautiful, the inimitable Steffi P is joining us in studio. Nice to see you, Steffi.
Good to see you. I'm so excited for my 3.5-day weekend.
I am so happy to have you here, Stephanie. We're going to have a few days off, sort of. I still have to work on Monday.
I'm going to have days off.
Yeah, you're going to have days off, yes. I'm excited to have you here with us, Steffi, and we're going to have a fun day today. Looks like Cheeky Mare is in the chat. Yes, we have an announcement to make that we have upgraded Cheeky Mare to moderator status.
Very special.
Can we please give an extra special good morning to the lovely Cheeky Mare?
Be nice to her.
Yes, we have 2 new mods. I haven't seen the second one in here just yet, but she should be joining us soon. And when she does join us, we will make that announcement as well. Shout out to Cheeky Mare, aka Libby. Thanks so much for helping us out with the stream in chat.
She's gonna do a good job.
I think she's gonna do a great job. Yeah, she's one of our new favorites. Good morning, Farmer Farr, Buddy Mansour, Barney Styles, Chris Morrill, Joni Rankin, and everybody else on the stream. Andy Opperman, Tarek Miller.
Rankin posted a really pretty photo of herself online the other day. I liked it.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, Joni's very pretty.
She looks good.
Yeah, she does. I think she was an actress for a little while too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And, Caleb Vanderfeltz is here, and we got to give him a special shout out for fixing our door last night. Caleb hooked us up.
He did such a great job. Him and his friend.
Bodie, yeah.
Yes, they made a bigger hole in our door so that we could put a big doggy door.
Because our bulldogs,
in our door.
Their bellies are low to the ground, and poor little Calvin, ever since he got kind of partially paralyzed, he wasn't able to get out of our doggy door. So we needed one that was lower to the ground, and I didn't have a jigsaw, and Caleb had a buddy who did, and they came over last night and they just killed it. So we appreciate it. Thanks, Caleb, for helping our puppies.
It's what ADA approved.
Yeah, Americans. Or no, it's
for
doggies. DDA, doggies with disabilities.
Yep, DDA approved.
Good morning to Quest Fanning as well, who just joined us as well, and Rare Camellia is back in Missouri. Nice to see you. Yeah, good to see you all here today. We're gonna have a great show. It's
the event that's coming up. Since we have the whole Cantina crew?
Oh, they're not all here yet. Everybody's filing in. So why don't we tell them all about the Cantina crew event here in just a little bit? Okay, we'll get to that. Why don't we go ahead and talk to our audience about what we're going to have on the show today. Starting at 7:03, ChatGPT changed everything and was a Black Swan event. Steffi, you'd never heard of a Black Swan event before. You didn't know what that was.
Black Swan, I'm thinking the movie.
Right.
The ballerina.
Natalie Portman, right.
Yes.
So a Black Swan event, and we'll get into it in a little bit more detail, is an event that was inevitable, that everybody should have seen coming, but nobody saw coming. ChatGPT and artificial intelligence was the Black Swan event. So we're going to talk about that this morning. And then I'd like to talk a little bit about this article from the New York Times that says that remote working, why you should never do it, according to the New York Times. And you were reading Elon Musk, what he said about remote working this last week, right?
He thinks it's morally wrong.
He's like, remote working is immoral.
Actually, I heard that from somebody already, and I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I heard that he's a stickler about people coming into work, and now there's some proof there.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that this morning, and I'll look forward to hearing your thoughts on the remote work craze. At 7:18 this morning, we've got video of a bullying incident in South Carolina between two sixth graders. At first, we thought it was a teacher
This person was very big.
Hefty, big sex. Yeah, big student. Bullying a smaller student. And of course, since the races are mixed, it's a racial incident, right?
Sure.
It's a hate crime, we'll say. Just kidding. We'll talk about that and play that clip, and we'll talk about it. And then 7:35 this morning, the title segment, we're going to talk about the DeSantis-Trump Nazi feud, which blew up online. Did you see my post about, you were probably kind of confused, like a lot of people were, by what was going on with the...
I mean, I don't know why anybody brought Hitler into the mix here, but I guess Trump did that.
Yeah, Trump brought it up. And have you ever heard of Godwin's Law? Do you know what Godwin's Law is?
No.
So Godwin's Law is a rule on the internet when you're getting into a debate that the first person who brings up Hitler loses the debate.
So Trump just lost.
Trump lost because he lost Godwin's Law because...
Does he know the law?
That's a great question.
He doesn't care.
That's a really good question, honestly.
Always a whip.
It's a general question.
You're fired.
He's always a winner, except for in 2020. We'll talk about Trump bringing up the Nazi comparison, Adolf Hitler to Ron DeSantis. And I know what his supporters are going to say. They're going to say it was just a joke. It was just a joke. He didn't make it. It's like, come on. Well, guys, you know what? If you post it on your own Truth Social and on your Instagram page, then we're going to talk about it. You brought it up. So we're going to talk about Hitler.
He went there.
Yeah, exactly. He went there. So we're going to talk about it because apparently a lot of Trump supporters think that Adolf Hitler took the guns, and they believe that because Alex Jones told them that, and they believe Trump supporters believe everything Alex Jones says.
I mean, I used to think that too.
Yeah, but you can't.
Every big leader.
Yeah, because in that one, because there was an interview with Piers Morgan, where Piers Morgan and Alex Jones was screaming at Piers Morgan. He was like, "Stalin took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Took the guns." Well,
just out of context, he should have said specifically what guns he took from who,
Ooh,
right?
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of funniness to this, a lot of silliness. It is, and now it's springtime for Hitler and DeSantis. Da, 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 da.
Producers is actually coming locally here.
Oh, let's
to
go
our
see it.
theater.
Let's go see
Yeah.
it.
producer.
Springtime for Hitler and Stephanie.
All Jewish.
Should be good. Yes. So that means, hey, for all of the YouTube and Twitch and Facebook censors out there who are seeing the title of this today
Yeah.
and the title of the show, and who are like, we're watching what you're going to say on this show today because you're talking about Hitler and we're going to be careful. Just so you know, my wife, my beautiful, smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, is Jewish. So
Mother is Jewish, so I am legit.
so if you censor this stream today on any of your social media platforms, you are literally an anti-Semite. Can I get a name?
Crime.
That would be a hate
You
crime.
discriminated
And
against. We should be able to speak out against Hitler.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we will report you to the ADL. So
That's
if
right.
you don't come at us with a ban today over this stream, just so you know.
We've got the ADA, the DDA, the ADL.
ADA.
We've got all the different organizations
Exactly.
on our side today.
Exactly.
Yes.
We will send the
That's right.
the Mossad hit squad against you, right? All right. So we'll talk about that at 7:35 today. It'll
Yeah.
be fun and funny. At 7:51 today, 10 habits to change your daily life. 10 simple habits to change your daily life. It's not all Hitler and
Yes,
politics.
there's positive things
Yes,
today.
we're going to switch to positive things there, talk about some habits that you can do to have a better life. And then Steffi and I have an announcement to make, which is another announcement we're very excited about.
So many announcements.
We've got a lot to talk about today. I
Yes.
don't know. I hope we can get through it all because honestly, the topics are pretty awesome. But at 8 o'clock today, we're going to be able to make an announcement for you for some good news. We'll talk about that.
That's right. That's right.
At 8 o'clock this morning, we'll also talk about 10 boomer trends that need to die. Yes.
I was reading through them and I was like, this really needs to die.
I think that these boomer trends need to die. So Stephanie and I were going to have a little discussion about some boomer trends. Boom, she is an okay boomer in her heart. We'll talk about that.
Boom, I want to be with you.
Yes.
Spend the night together.
Ely Hans joined us this morning. Grateful to have you here. Welcome to the chat. Your very first comment. Let's give Ely Hans.
Oh.
My grandpa's name is Hans.
Are they on Rumble or where are they?
They're on YouTube. Yes, we are streaming on YouTube and Rumble. Nice to see us. If you're on Rumble or YouTube this morning or any of the platforms, do us a favor and click that like button to help us to spread the message of economic freedom and personal liberty. We'd love to hear from you. We got some people watching on Rumble. Good to see you, Rumblers.
Hello, Rumble.
We're also streaming on a new platform this morning called Kick, which is
Kick.
Yeah, at the moment right now we have 0 viewers and 0 followers, but it's because it's our very first stream over there.
That's okay.
Yeah, but we'll see how things go, and we were always looking for new platforms to help us to kind of continue to grow. At 8:30 this morning, this is actually the reason why when I say I'm in favor of trans women, and so that's that term correctly.
Okay, so that would be a man
A
who's
biological
transitioned
male.
to a woman, a trans woman.
Competing in female sports. Did you see the
Right.
story about this men-only club that women used the law to force themselves into?
I couldn't read it because I'm restricted. I didn't pay.
Telegos, right? So gentlemen's club. So this is a gentlemen's club
Uh-huh.
that women have now been allowed to join, right? So it's kind of
It's a strip club? Is that what that is?
it's a gentlemen's club.
What do you do at a gentleman's club?
Well, you drink and you
men?
read books and you talk about manly
They
things.
read books in a gentleman's club? I always thought it was very sexual.
It can be. It depends, right? So this is Pratt's. This is not Stringfellows. This is Pratt's. Remind me how I know that later. We'll talk about the women forcing themselves into the gentleman's club. But I mean, and I'll go into more detail later. But I mean, I think listen, if women demand access to male spaces, then we're coming into your locker rooms, ladies. We're gonna swing our wings around. In full view, and you need to get used to it. Or you need to realize that not everybody, you can't have everything that you want in this entire world. You can't destroy men-only spaces and then complain when you got wings swinging in your face in the locker room. So.
It's kind of like straight people coming into the gay bar. You know how they've been going there for a long time.
That used to be the best place to pick up chicks, honestly, because Women were. We'll talk about that later. Forget
Yeah,
it. Well,
yeah.
let's wait until
We'll save
8:30.
all the strip club
Yeah.
bar conversation for later. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be great. All right. So
Mhm.
let's go ahead and start at the top of the show for you who are looking forward to joining us. Salty Shore Services. That's our friend Laura Lee Marsh. She's joined the chat
Oh,
very briefly.
hello.
Yo, Laura, what's up? We got to add her as a moderator.
Yes.
Yes.
She lives in Florida, so she might have a thing or two to say about DeSantis.
We'd love to hear her thoughts on that one. Let's all give Laura a round of applause. She has joined the chat. She has joined our ambassador program.
Everyone, respect her.
Yes,
Say hello.
respect Laura Lee Marsh. She's joined us
Okay.
this morning, and she is now a moderator in the chat. So she and Cheeky Mayor,
Yes.
Libby, have joined this morning as ambassadors for the show. And what they're going to do essentially is they're going to be going out and trying to recruit people to join the show, to get more people into the live stream, invite people to join us. And also to help us to promote our sponsors and our products, which we've got a bunch of awesome new ones.
We do.
Did you see the shirt that I made yesterday and we sold a whole bunch of them?
I did.
Yeah,
Somebody said it was made by AI, but it was not made by AI.
No. The picture of the smoking hot, blonde chick is AI, but I made the shirt. So all gun laws are an infringement shirt. Available at apforlibertyshop.com. All right. The people are probably tired of us talking crap, but it is Friday, Family Friday, which is when we usually goof around and kind of anything goes. All right, let's talk about ChatGPT. So it became publicly available 6 months ago. Stephanie, you and I, we use it like every day.
We do, we do. And I've even started using it for my own profession of social work. When I'm writing my notes, I just help me, or I ask it to help me to process my thoughts, basically, in terms of my clients and what they're dealing with. So it has become very helpful for my own work.
Yeah, at least 49 listed U.S. companies have mentioned ChatGPT in quarterly earnings calls in May of 2023 to date. It's a sign that corporate America is rushing to show off this new important tech trend, and it's no mystery why. ChatGPT represents an important shock to corporate valuations. It's rattling Google because how many times, Stephanie, have we been trying to search something and we're like, all right, screw Google. We're not finding anything that we need on Google. We turn to ChatGPT to get the answers we need.
Yeah, because Google only shows advertisements nowadays. I mean, when you type in anything, it's like, here's this product, or it's very biased. Whereas ChatGPT is like, here's the facts. We're not trying to sell you something.
Exactly. And does it make mistakes? Sure. However, I've gotten better at sort of quizzing ChatGPT to ensure that it cites sources, and then I can check those sources. So, for example, at 8:30 today, when we talk, or excuse me, at 7:30 today, when we talk about the Adolf Hitler stuff between DeSantis and Trump, I wanted to find out, did Hitler actually ban guns? And we're going to discuss that at 7:30, and I've got that information from ChatGPT, and I just tell it to cite its sources so that I can go and check what the actual policy was. So we're going to get to that at 7:30. But
ChatGPT is everywhere. It's on Snapchat now. You can talk to a robot on there. It's everywhere in terms of our Printify, making products. It's like, hey, do you want to use AI to help you with your shop to sell products? I mean, it's a new feature everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, it helps us a lot. So, like, for example, like we made the new product line I've started the Ben Drankin, the new like 4th of July products that we have. I needed Ben Franklin drinking a beer, right? So I had Midjourney create that.
Yeah.
Right. That's different from ChatGPT, which is text based. But with Midjourney, I can create copyright free art that I create and then add to. And copyright's a big debate that we won't get into a little bit later. But
YouTube videos about that.
Andy Opperman had a good question. He says, "What happens to the information that you feed to ChatGPT? Is there any expectation of privacy?" Dude, you're on the internet, dude.
In terms of me and my clients, I do not put any information. I only just write like, I am thinking about a person who has depression and they've been drinking a lot.
Yeah.
What would be good options for this person? So it's like nobody would ever be able to know who I'm talking about. Nobody could find that information and trace it back.
Listen to this. So the National Bureau of Economic Research calculated that firms with high exposure to AI earned daily excess returns that were 0.4% higher than firms with lower exposure. So if you were benefiting from ChatGPT, if you were using ChatGPT or your company was tied to it in some way or another, then you had a higher valuation. So,
Yeah.
a former OpenAI researcher, Paul Cristiano, said that society had maybe a 10 to 20% chance of AI takeover that would leave many or most humans dead. What?
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. AI
The
has
robots take over.
Yeah, AI has come for jobs. An
Yes.
early analysis from Goldman Sachs said that generative AI could disrupt the labor market, but these are white collar jobs. So you would think, the populists who are like, ready, like, we got to protect blue collar jobs and things like that should be celebrating because this is literally the learn to code people
Mhm.
who, like, now, if you went out and you learned how to code, now you need to go and learn how to program AI
Right.
because
GPT can code.
ChatGPT can code.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm thankful for it. I am so hopeful
Oh, yeah.
that soon enough AI is going to help me write progress notes in a HIPAA compliant type of way.
Right.
I am really hopeful that this is going to happen. It's going to make my job so much easier.
Yeah, it's making my job like
Hmm.
way easier. I think my productivity has tripled when I started using it because I can do things now that I couldn't do before
Yeah.
because like if you're like me, if you're a creative type, there are certain things creatively that I can do that I can do fantastic and there's some things that I cannot do.
Right.
So for example, all of the history videos that I've been producing in the last few months,
Yeah.
guns of the presidents, history bites, philosophy bites, different things like that. I wouldn't have been able to do them without the artificial intelligence to create those pictures to bring
Hmm.
up, in people's minds because I can write and I can create and I can
Yeah.
come up with great ideas and I can produce and I can, do all these things a lot,
Yeah.
which ChatGPT can replace a lot of that, but I can't draw, I can't paint,
Same.
right? I don't have those kinds of creative skills
Hmm.
that now ChatGPT and Midjourney can replace. So it's like if
That's
you're somebody
true.
like me, a creative executive, it's amazing, right? AI is not taking my job; it's making my job way better. So if
Yeah.
you're at a more of a high level in terms of like creativity, then it's like for you, it's like God mode. Honestly, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know if you know what God mode is. It's a video game term, but
Okay.
yeah. So we'll talk
I
about.
assume it gives you a lot of powers. That's what God
Yes.
mode is.
God mode is when you're
Yeah.
in a video game, you basically it's like a cheat code where you like become a god and nothing can harm you, right?
In terms of this black swan term,
Mhm.
I mean, I think I was just talking to you about this the other day that I didn't see AI in this form actually coming to be. I saw more so like robots, self-driving cars. I mean, I thought that's where our world was going because in
Mhm.
all those movies back in the day that showed the future,
Mhm.
it was like, cars up in the sky flying
Mm.
and, robots bringing you your meals and smart houses.
Mm. Here's the Black Swan event. This is from ChatGPT, by the way. A
Mhm.
Black Swan event is a term coined by Nassim Taleb. He's actually pretty libertarian, if you've never heard of him.
Hmm.
He's a finance professor and a former Wall Street trader. The term refers to an event or occurrence that deviates beyond what is normally expected of a situation and is extremely difficult to predict. Black Swan events are characterized by their extreme rarity,
Mhm.
severe impact, and the widespread insistence that they were obvious in hindsight. So the three
Yeah.
attributes of a black swan event. Good morning, Sarah Palacios. Nice to see you. Love.
She started a new job. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Sarah. So we're talking about black swan events.
Uh-huh.
So here are the three attributes of a black swan event. One is that they're unpredictable, right? They're not predictable based on past information. They're often random and unexpected.
Mhm.
Two, they have an extreme impact, so they cause substantial damage when they occur, right? So think with
Mhm.
capitalism, think what do we call it when something disruption, right?
Yes.
In capitalism, we like to call it
Just
disruption.
damage.
No, I mean it's damage to people who,
Some.
to some, yeah. If you were working at
Yes.
Goldman Sachs, yeah, that was damage. If you're a copywriter for Goldman Sachs,
Right.
number three is hindsight bias. So after the event, people may claim it was predictable, an error in reasoning, as it's impossible to forecast such unlikely occurrences. So examples of this include the 2008 economic crisis, the rise of the internet, and the impact of the COVID-19
Mhm.
pandemic. So each of the.
The
Mm,
rise of the internet and
mhm,
email And smartphones, that's not a surprise to me because I remember back in my AOL AIM days,
Mm-hmm.
I dreamed of a device where I could take it with me and go on vacation and email all of my friends from AOL while on the go. And I was like, if only. So I saw that and I envisioned that in the future. If only I could have actually made that myself.
I know. I mean, hindsight is 2020. When we look back, we always say to ourselves, "Oh, we should have seen this coming." It was just so obvious. All the signs were there. But that's what makes it a Black Swan event, was that it really was like almost impossible to predict.
I didn't predict it.
Yeah, and here's the thing: a lot of people are trying to rein in the spread of AI. Countries are stepping in and saying,
Us even.
yeah, and the creator of ChatGPT, they want to license it, they want to regulate it, right? They, it's, of course it's going to be terrible. When the government, that means that what'll happen is it'll be like a lot of other things that are regulated. You'll have like one or two of them, and then they'll both be evil, and you'll have nowhere to go, right? So,
I do have an odd relationship with ChatGPT. It's almost like having a friend that you're not sure if you can trust them yet.
mhm.
So every time I type into ChatGPT, I fact check them.
Yeah, no, you should. And
Yes.
what I do is I tell ChatGPT to cite its sources when I do it. If I
Say that sometimes it cites sources and they're not even legit.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, like it'll be like, I
Yeah.
found this here, and then you'll go to the website and it like
Yes.
doesn't even exist or
Yes, yes,
something.
yes. You do have to watch out for that. So,
Yeah.
because I was looking for stories of French bulldogs,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it told this amazing story of a French bulldog from World War One that I was like, well, this is an incredible story. And I was like, cite your sources. And so then it was like, here's the sources and things like that. And when I went to like the American Kennel Club site that it linked
Mhm.
to, because it looked like authoritative sources,
Right.
they didn't exist. None of them exist. And it turns out that there was a French bulldog in history whose name was Gamine, and it was like it had confused the Titanic dog. So we ended up doing the Titanic.
It's real. That
Yeah,
dog
but
really did drown.
right, right, right. So, and there was a dog in World War One called Mutt that was a different
Yes.
dog, and we
Who
did a video.
delivered cigarettes.
Right, and we
Yes.
talked about that and stuff like that. But I
Mhm.
mean, it made up this amazing story. I was just like, this is incredible. And I was like, cite your sources, and all the sources that were like fake. So, anyways, but so you got to
Right.
check. You've got to check it.
GPT is really good at creating new things that
Yes.
aren't factual.
Well,
It's really
yeah.
good at fiction.
Right, but if you put in a source, if you tell it
Mhm.
like the truth, then it can create products or creativity around that item,
Mhm.
right? So like if you tell it about a fact from history and say you want it to do something surrounding it, that's fine. But anyway, so ChatGPT Black Swan event, that's a good idea to tell it to cite its own sources, says community. Yeah, it's the way to go, but even check those sources because
Yeah.
even those can be wrong.
So that makes it a little bit more time consuming because
Mm.
then you spend time being like, are you actually correct? Let me check you.
So we've got about 5 minutes left before we get to the marquee segment today, talking about the DeSantis versus Trump Nazi feud.
Okay.
Let's talk about this story this video that was going viral. This is from South Carolina. I saw this video. I shared it with Stephanie yesterday. Got us talking. At first, we thought it was a teacher who was doing this, but it ended
Yes,
up we were confused.
completely different conversation. You were like, what would you do if a teacher did this to our child?
But you know what? Here's the thing: teachers have done stuff
Oh,
like this to
yeah.
kids. We had to have a law in Missouri passed, I think, to stop teachers from doing crap like this, like putting the special kids in rubber rooms and things. I don't know if you remember this.
Still, some teachers, they hit the kid with a ruler. Don't they
Yeah,
still do that?
maybe in like Catholic
Yeah.
schools or anything like that. Anyways, take a listen and watch this video here. Yikes! All right.
The thing about being a mama's boy, what is that? I
I
couldn't
can't.
understand everything.
Yeah, I'm not fluid in Ebonics, unfortunately. So, but what would you
Wonder.
do in this situation? Let's hear, Stephanie.
Okay. Well, first, that the bigger girl, I
Hmm.
don't know her name. We'll
Right,
call her Susie.
right.
It sounds like she was upset about something that the little girl said
Hmm.
because she was like, don't say that again. So I
Yes.
wonder, could that little girl have been provoking her verbally?
Possibly.
And possibly saying you're fat, you're ugly, you're, who knows what.
It's not impossible.
And then this girl appeared to be the bully, even though she was retaliating against the smaller girl who was a bully.
Stephanie, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it's entirely possible that the 300-pound sixth grader was defending herself against her fellow 50-pound sixth grader. It's entirely possible. I find that to be improbable. Right? It's not impossible, but I think that's probably improbable. This happened at the Beaufort School District in South Carolina. But when I saw this video, it made me wonder, like, what would you do in this kind of scenario? I know that everybody likes to think, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that or all that kind of stuff. Because when I see it, makes your blood boil, right? You just want to kill that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a parent, I would be so upset at that student. And, I would try to get them in trouble for that. So obviously I would, go right to the principal and, hope that they got that kid a fair punishment.
Yeah. In the video, it says the smaller student's yelling, don't. The larger student tells the girl on the ground, I will hurt you. And proceeds to kick her, saying, don't do it again.
Right. Don't do it again. It's
she
like,
says,
don't do what?
Right.
Yes.
Right. So you never know. There could be context here. She said, and then she goes, I'll stomp your bitch ass face in. And then the other student replies, okay, I'll stop. Just please let me. And then she says, you can go by. Right.
The other thing I would do after my smaller child came home is I would teach them karate immediately in self-defense.
Yeah.
And I would teach them to do a sweep. Get that girl up off her feet because she is not stable.
Can we just give Steffi a round of applause here? She knows self-defense right there. Steffi knows her self-defense.
Right underneath the ankle there. There it goes.
Yeah, for sure. She would just do a sweep. There you go. That's how you solve these problems these days. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic, the big story of the day, the DeSantis versus Trump Nazi feud. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to play a clip from was it yesterday? I guess right when DeSantis announced. This was the left's reaction standing outside, I believe. So this is
a hoot
in Miami. This is right after Ron DeSantis had announced his presidential campaign. Let's go ahead and go to our Twitter scene. I'll have to take this off studio mode. Let's take a listen to what the protesters have to say about Ron DeSantis.
Oh my God, they're going to have no voice.
Sure, that's the least of their concerns.
They have no job to go to.
Yes, this is Miami in Florida.
Not our president.
Right. Look at them saying there.
I can just feel how empowered they are. They just seem like they're on cloud nine doing this. I can't hear you.
Pepperoni says the left is making some real solid arguments here.
It's very true. There we go.
We're ready for war, they said. I really love you, girl. I really need you, girl. The outfits are confusing. Their outfits or my outfits?
Look like hippies, really.
That's how it is.
In the 60s.
For sure. Yeah. One of our chatters this morning says that Dash says that Vivek is looking better day by day. Yes, I know a lot of people do, like Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy. You haven't heard of Vivek Ramaswamy?
What does he do?
He's an Indian guy. He's running for president as a Republican, and he's kind of like the anti-woke candidate, and he's got a lot of good things to say. Okay. He's not with us on economics. The Republicans these days.
When I vote for him. No,
I know. Here's the thing: if you're not with libertarians on economics, you're really just not with economics, to be quite honest. Because free markets are economics, right? Everything.
Economicing, bro.
Yeah. Do you even? That's right. Yeah, exactly, baby girl. That's my woman right there. That is my wife, ladies and gents. Well, that is Stephanie Peterson. If you're just
if you don't believe in the free market, you don't believe in economics.
It's supply and demand. There's supply and demand, and then there's a bunch of commie bullshit. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Stephanie Peterson.
Good morning.
And we're always excited to have her on Fridays. Miss Wren says, "Oh, AP, you always look like a cartoon character. I don't even pay attention anymore." What?
Well, I mean, you're so perfect.
God!
What?
No,
you're
God,
perfectly
please,
sculpted.
No! How dare you?
Dare you?
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to talk about the DeSantis versus Trump feud. So why are we talking about DeSantis and Trump and Hitler? Because of the video that came out. Did you see the video that Trump posted about him? About you watched it?
The fake spaces conversation with the devil and Hitler and George Soros.
Exactly. Do you want to watch the video again, guys? Should we play it again? What do you think? All right, so
pretty entertaining.
All right, so let me pull it up real quick.
Devil's voice is just really off, though. No, if I heard the devil, I would think the devil would be like, "Hello," very low and like evil sounding.
All right, well, hold on. I've got the clip here. This
devil sound like to you?
This is why we're talking about DeSantis and Trump and Hitler all in the same breath. It's Donald Trump's fault. He brought it up, so we're going to talk about it. All right, here's the clip. Twitter weirdness. Take a listen.
Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
It's George Soros.
Wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George.
That's Dick Cheney.
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
God.
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Like, oops, wrong chat.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret gay lover hidden in your closet.
Ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verkaufen.
Guys, can we please just
from that Hitler movie we were talking about, Downfall.
Yes, it's a great movie.
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm...
Okay, I can hear the governor very well.
Shut up, would you please shut up already?
Well.
I'm running for fucking president, okay?
Yeah, we kind of already knew about it.
Know, Governor.
Congratulations, Governor.
Well, that concludes our Twitter space for today. Thank you to all of our...
Hold your horses, Elon.
I can't play the rest of that because that "Hold On, I'm Coming" got me the copyright strike yesterday on the show. Yeah, so
that video is copyrighted?
Well, no, the "Hold On, I'm Coming" that song.
Oh, what is
Well,
that?
don't you ever
Okay.
rain on me when times are bad, when the times are strong. 'Cause hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. All right, so yeah, there we go. We won't get a copyright strike for that. Wasn't that beautiful?
Right. We made our own instruments.
So as you can see, if you're watching the stream live right now and you're watching the video, you can see over there, little me being a little troll. I posted the top comment on Donald Trump's Instagram.
That's the top comment?
Oh, yeah, because it's the funniest comment. And I have to admit, I stole it from one of my buddies who is on my Instagram page. So I got to give him credit. But it was, I said, Adolf never banned bump stocks.
Okay.
Because you remember Donald Trump banning bump stocks through executive order, right?
Yes. When did bump stocks come to be?
Bump stocks have been around for a long time. Like
When
maybe
Hitler
like
was around?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. See, that's the joke, right?
Okay.
You know, Hitler never banned bump stocks, right?
They
But
didn't
if
exist.
they didn't exist, right? It's true, right? Now you could bump fire because if you had a semi-automatic weapon like the M1 Garand,
Yes.
right? You can bump fire it with just like holding your finger on the trigger
Uh-huh.
and then holding onto your belt loop, and then
Yeah.
you just kind of jiggle it a
You
little
make
bit.
your own bump stock.
You make your own. Well, yeah, you don't really need it. It's a
You can
gimmick.
use a rubber band.
Right, but the reason why Donald Trump banned them
Mhm.
through executive order unconstitutionally and used unilateral gun control is because of the Las Vegas shooting event. Remember
Yes.
at the concert?
Yes.
Yeah. So Trump reacted to that, and so we made the joke. Adolf never banned bump stocks, but the funny thing is if you go and you read the thread, you can see that Donald Trump's supporters, and this is where the comedy comes in. Donald Trump's supporters were saying in the thread over and over again, he didn't ban bump stocks. He banned all guns. He banned all guns. Hitler banned all the guns. He didn't take the bump stocks. He took all the guns.
Right. He took them away from the people in the city.
Well,
in the ghetto.
Let's
I mean, I don't know the facts.
the lie
I just know
detector
that.
proved that was a lie. But here's the thing. This is why people were laughing because I kind of tripled down on the joke, if you will. When I tweeted that I made the joke that Adolf Hitler never banned bump stocks on his, on the Hitler supports DeSantis video.
Yeah.
And then Trump supporters tried dunking on me saying Hitler banned the guns. And the reason that they believe that is because Alex Jones said it.
Right.
And then actual Nazis corrected the Trump supporters.
They're like, actually.
Yes, actual Nazis corrected.
We didn't ban the guns.
Yes, corrected the Trump supporters on Hitler's gun policies.
Oh my God. Like, what is the real argument here? I feel like we're just, these people are getting off on tangents.
Yeah. Okay. Stephanie, we've got a bunch of people watching, and Buddy Manster
really?
asking the real questions.
Oh.
We will get back to the Trump Nazi joke stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the actual policies that Hitler enacted in just a few minutes.
What's the real question?
The real announcement is that we want to give today. Do you want to go ahead and give it about the Cantina Crew event?
Oh, yes.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
So everybody's been asking for a reunion event for the Cantina Crew. So on August 12th, officially, which is a Saturday, we are going to hold a float trip at Bass River Resort. And we're going to make a Facebook group about this. And we'll share it out on the social media pages so that everybody can, say if they're coming or not or interested and find out more information. But pencil in on your calendar for sure. August 12th is the day of the float trip. Any events on Friday or Sunday, those are yet to be announced. But definitely that weekend, there's going to be some festivities.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, Customer Appreciation Week, if you will, we're calling it Cantina Crew Appreciation. If you are a fan of the Wake Up America show, you can, monthly donor, supporter, just a friend, and you would like to join us, we are going to have an event that weekend, and we're going to get some cabins, and we're going to, cook, barbecue out together, grill out together, and hang out and be friends, and go out on the canoe and just spend some good old time in the Missouri outdoors in the Ozarks. So you're all welcome.
Steelville, Missouri, which is about an hour and a half from St. Louis. So if you're like flying, you can fly into St. Louis. So we tried to make it a good location for anyone coming in.
There you go. So anybody who's interested in getting together and joining us for the Cantina Crew, I would call it a reunion, but it's really going to be kind of like the first, because we used to do like the Team Liberty Freedom Ninja events.
The very first reunion I went to was the Team Liberty reunion, that was a float trip.
Yeah, so this will be like our first like official Cantina Crew event.
Yes, so not a reunion, it's a meeting.
There you go. Thank you for that, and appreciate Cheeky Mare dropping the bassresort.com website over there so people can do that. Thank you. Yeah.
You could make your reservation online. They make it super easy. So it's like you can prepay for a kayak, a canoe, a raft, even for any of the lodging. And they also have horseback riding.
Nice. Well, we appreciate those who are watching right now. And to join us, we'd love to have you there. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about today, and the show's flying by. It's already 7:40.
Are you kidding me?
So now is a good time, probably, Stephanie, for us to very briefly talk about our buddy John Burke, who has become one of our latest sponsors, and we're super excited to share with you his products of shellshockcbd.com. For those of you who have trouble sleeping, or for those of you who deal with pain, the Shell Shock CBD products are for you. And Stephanie will tell you honestly, I was like, before I had tried these products, you remember what I thought about Delta 8 and
You're
CBD?
such a skeptic.
I was such a skeptic. I thought they were such a scam.
Yeah.
And then what
And
happened?
CBD in general.
You remember last week, though, when I took that Delta 8 from John Burke, what happened, though?
Yeah, I mean, you were just super productive and you stayed up really late, and I was like, we have to go to sleep. And you're just like, hold on, just wait a little longer. I'm doing something.
I know. I was just like, because like
made him ultra focused.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. THC products affect me differently than I think most people. Most people, they get kind of lazy and they're unproductive. Whereas for me, it's kind of like, makes me chatty and it makes me like more like it just
like
like
coffee
wired
for you,
yeah
basically.
isn't it wild isn't that wild? Yeah, it is. Isn't that odd?
Yeah. Everyone's brain is different.
Everybody's brain is different. But I do highly recommend Shell Shock CBD and endorse them because their products actually do work. It's not a scam. It's not snake oil. It's very effective stuff. Use that code AP for Liberty for 10% off these items. And don't forget, you do get a money back guarantee. So if you try the products and you don't like them or they don't work for you, and I promise you they will, especially that Delta bar, it looks like the Willy Wonka bar over there. That thing, yeah, you can grab it and put it up there, show it to our camera.
Cute.
Yeah. Come with me.
Milk chocolate.
And we'll be in a land of pure imagination.
Reach of children.
Yes.
Animals. Actually, animals cannot have marijuana in particular.
Yeah, for sure. But
it's poisonous for them.
But humans can, and we can party. And it's legal in Missouri. Make sure it's legal where you're at. Check them out at shellshockcbd.com. Corey C. placed his order yesterday. Thanks, Corey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think we saw.
What did you buy?
Yeah, Corey, let us know what you got.
Bought.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know what you got.
Yeah.
Float trip still August 12th? Asked John Rail, question mark. He just dropped in.
Yes. So we made the announcement. So the float trip is going to be on August 12th. So I'm thinking we'll all meet up at about 10 o'clock and float by 11. And then there will probably be some going to restaurant kinds of things before or after that float trip. So we'll definitely keep you in tune to the updates.
All right. So let's get back to our story of the day. We're talking about, the Trump, DeSantis, Hitler comparisons and Hitler banning bump stocks. Obviously, bump stocks didn't exist when Hitler took over as president of Germany. But there's a lot of misconceptions about Hitler's gun control policies because a lot of conservatives and especially like the prison planet type of people think that in order to kind of confirm their biases on gun control, and listen, I'm opposed to gun control as well.
Right.
They say like Hitler took the guns, right? That Hitler confiscated guns and things like that.
Like any communist, any like huge powerful leader, I thought they always confiscate the guns. That's what we always say. When they take your guns, that's when you know you're in trouble.
Well, to an extent, Hitler actually expanded gun rights. So here's the story, right? So here's the breakdown of the key aspects. Okay. So the Weimar Republic. Right. Yes. They had gun regulations. So before the Nazis had power, the Weimar Republic passed laws in 1928 that required permits to own, sell, carry, and manufacture firearms and ammunition.
Like what we have now.
Sort of, right. But their restrictions were very rarely enforced. So it wasn't very strict, right? But then in 1938, so during Hitler's regime, the German Weapons Act was passed in 1938. Okay. And that actually loosened gun restrictions for many Germans, right?
How so?
So the law, well, here's the thing. So Hitler actually had, so Trump is actually more restrictive on guns than Hitler was. And I know that that's going to trigger a lot of people, but you can clip that and you can replay it and trigger the shit out of everybody all you want. Because here's the thing, Trump is in favor of raising the age to purchase a firearm.
Yes.
Hitler was in favor of lowering the age to purchase a firearm. Aren't we just getting a good kick out of this?
Yeah. Didn't children have weapons back during?
Hitler actually gave rocket launchers to kids.
That's right.
Go Hitler, I guess.
Yeah. So he wants kids to have guns.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe he wanted kids to have heroin as well. Five-year-olds can have guns?
No, yes. Well, he did give methamphetamine to his teenage soldiers.
Oh boy.
So there you go. But not 5-year-olds.
Okay.
They didn't give
5-year-olds.
They gave meth to teenagers, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Yeah. So the 1938 Germans Weapons Act lowered the age at which individuals could purchase firearms and extended the validity of gun permits. So it allowed Nazi Party members and officials to carry guns without a permit. So that's interesting. So point in Hitler's column there, Trump loses a point because Trump wants to raise the age to buy.
I wonder what he wants to raise the age to.
21.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and it's funny too because I did a video, "The Guns of the Presidents," and I mentioned that Trump wants to raise the age to buy a firearm, and Trump supporters don't believe that. I mean, I cited the sources. I've got a bunch of
Right.
sources to don't believe me. Go Google it, search it up yourself.
I think 18, 21, all the same to me. Because honestly, at 25 is when the brain is fully developed.
Yeah, I don't care.
So who cares about 18 and 21?
Give the children the Panzerfaust.
Right. You're essentially giving children these things when they're 18 and 21. They're basically kids.
Exactly. So Hitler wants to lower the age to buy a gun. Trump wants to raise the age to buy a gun. So I guess we got to give Hitler credit there on that one. Trump loses the point.
I don't know if I can do that.
Trump's more Hitler than Hitler in that one. Just kidding.
No.
Come on.
No.
It's just a joke.
Hitler is never in the right.
If Trump Hitler drank water, right? So if here's the thing: if Trump can,
also a vegetarian, which
exactly. Well, that's how you know that he was insane. No, just kidding. He wasn't. He wasn't insane. But the funny thing is that Trump can make jokes about DeSantis and Hitler, then I can make jokes about Trump and Hitler. There we go. So it's all fair game. You started it.
Himself to Hitler, so you can compare Hitler to him and vice versa.
Exactly. So the 1938 Germans Weapons Act, there it was. So restrictions on certain groups. So here's where the gun control comes in. This is where people kind of paint with a broad brush. So it didn't liberalize gun laws for all. Okay. It specifically prohibited people like Juden, from
Jewish.
Yeah, from manufacturing or dealing in firearms and ammunition.
Okay.
And then later in the same year, after Kristallnacht, a regulation was passed that prohibited Jews from owning any weapons, including firearms. So you could
the gays and the gypsies.
Well, here's the thing. No,
they had to give up their weapons.
So here's the thing. So a lot of Trump supporters were saying, well, he it's only bump stocks, right? So Trump only banned bump stocks. It's not a big deal. And I posted
it's not actually a gun.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So and that's what they said was that, real patriots don't need bump stocks, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I posted,
Isn't it
let me finish. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
No, let me finish. So here's the thing. So when it came to, you threw me off there. So when it came to the Jews owning weapons, think about this. If you can say, well, it was okay, Trump only banned bump stocks, real patriots don't need bump stocks. You could, I guess, also use that kind of line of logic and say, well, Hitler didn't ban the guns for all people. He only banned them for the Jews. So, I guess you got to make concessions, right? Just
you can still be a patriot even if you ban guns for certain people.
For the Jews, right? It's just the Jews, right? Just ban guns for the Jews. Well, it's the same logic, right? So it's just bump stocks, right? So when we enact gun control, as long as most people aren't affected by it, right? Most people don't use. They say most people don't use bump stocks
because disabled people are affected by this bump stock ban.
No, stop saying the disabled thing. That has to do with braces. All right. So that's gun braces. That's a completely different thing, but we'll get to that in a moment. So Hitler only banned guns for the Jews. So as long as you're not a Jew, you're okay. Right. So it's the same logic, right? As bump stocks.
Yes.
So it's just bump stocks, right? So it's just Jews. So, same logic, right? Yeah. So it's okay to, ban gun control when my guy does it. Right. I guess in this situation, Hitler's my guy, so I got to be careful with that.
Oh, no.
Is anyone getting the jokes here, by the way? Is anyone getting how tongue-in-cheek this is? I'm wondering if people who are listening in right now are getting the jokes on this, the commentary.
We don't like Hitler.
We don't like Hitler. It's called satire and humor. Like we're also, but we also all are making a point in that gun control is wrong. It's wrong to ban the guns from the Jews.
For Trump and Hitler, don't ban the guns.
Yeah, don't ban the guns. Yeah, don't ban the guns. Don't ban the bump stocks. Don't ban the firearms accessories because, and now we'll get to your point, Joseph Biden, our president of the United States now, is taking a page out of Trump's playbook in using executive actions to ban the pistol braces that you were talking about.
Pistol braces.
Which are for disabled people.
Okay.
But they can also they are good for stabilizing for people who are just not, great at aim. Pistol braces can be used by people who are not disabled, in order to help their aim.
Yeah.
But now Biden is taking a page out of the Trump playbook and using an executive order to make tens of millions of Americans felons who own pistol braces,
Right.
and doing the exact same thing that Trump did,
Right.
right? And so that's where it came
It's like
from.
you can still shoot a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't have a brace to shoot a gun to help you.
Right. Well, now they want the ATF to have to register our firearms and things, the pistol braces as short-barreled rifles.
Okay.
Right. So, anyways, weapons confiscation in occupied territories. So we'll finish this topic up. It's important to note the Nazi regime did enact disarmament in the territories it occupied during World War II, countries like Poland and France. Well, that makes sense. They're in a war. You're not going to let your enemies have guns.
So even the people who weren't Jewish, they had to
Right.
give up their guns.
Well, yeah, because literally you're at war with a country. If you take over a country, you're not going to be like, all right, you can all have guns.
So they did take away guns.
Well, yeah, it's just like America. We took away the Japanese guns.
Uh-huh.
Remember after World War II, and
Yeah.
we forced all Japanese to have guns. Remember when we
They
talked?
still don't really have guns.
You remember?
other than
Yeah.
hunting.
Right. Remember when we had dinner with Oliver Gia?
Yes.
And we were talking about this, and we and he said that basically the United States gave Japan the American Constitution minus the Second Amendment.
Yes. And so it's not their fault. Because when we were in Japan, I was like, why don't they have guns? Why don't they let themselves have guns? And you reminded me, it's not them who made this decision. It was us. So it's really our fault that they're not really armed.
Jacob Champion says, want me to call and explain the big issue with the bump stock ban? Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah, we do, actually. And I tell you what, I've got to... Yes. So here's the thing, Jacob. I'm going to have to go to a real brief commercial break. I have to sync my phone, the Bluetooth, to my device, to the Roadcaster.
Clickety
buttons stuff. So yeah, let me do that. Give it 30 seconds, Jacob, after we go to the commercial break, and then give us a call. The phone line is 573-319-1586. Jacob, you can call in and we'll have you on the show, and you can explain that to us. We'll be back in
Pretty cool.
We'll be back in like 2 minutes on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Yay.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today.
Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apeforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit apforlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show at wakeupamericashow.com. It's Friday, which means it's Family Friday. The lovely Steffi P joining us.
Everybody stretch with me. I mean, it feels so good. Yeah.
Stephanie, we're glad to have our friends joining us this morning. We've got a whole bunch of people on the Cantina crew joining us today. It's nice to see, watching you stretch. It's nice to see everybody joining us here today. Make sure that you click like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that just yet. Stephanie and I are working real hard on the shop these days.
We're actually really excited for Memorial Day weekend so that we can do some work on the shop.
Yeah, we realize that we have a dearth of Ron DeSantis stuff, and some people were like, "Hey, where's the Ron DeSantis merch?"
Yeah,
because we've got a bunch of Donald Trump stuff, but like our Trumpy Buddhas, we've been selling a lot of these lately. Our Donald Trump. We sold
we sold 3 of them just yesterday.
Yeah, 3 Trumpy silk. We've got the 2 silky Buddhas, and the silky Buddhas are a little bit different than the gold, the standard gold Buddhas.
They're not painted.
Yeah, these are not painted. These are made out of a special silk fiber, and they're a little bit more specialty. The silk is a little bit higher quality, and it's it takes longer to manufacture them.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful, and then you can be like Orange Man Good. Right? You get the Orange Man Good. So
it's true coloring. It's accurate.
Exactly, true to color there. So you can get a Donald Trumpy Buddha over at apforlibertyshop.com. And then yesterday somebody messaged us and said that we have these every gun laws and infringement shirts.
Yes.
And the guy was like, Austin, the shirts are kind of like girly, the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, can you like make the all gun laws are an infringement shirt, but make it more like kind of manly?
Yes.
So I did. And we got like 3 or 4 people bought one yesterday. They were really excited to get the all gun laws are an infringement shirts. Are available now at apforlibertyshop.com.
Can I pitch some of my ideas that I'm going to do this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to make one for Facebook jail veterans. That's one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good one.
For those of you who have been banned from Facebook, which I know most.
Those who have served your time in Facebook jail with us.
This is my personal idea. A shirt that says "Vote for Ron" in the letters of Napoleon Dynamite shirts. Vote for Pedro, and then it's like you can vote for Ron Paul, Ron Swanson, or Ron DeSantis. It's for everybody.
Okay, but if it says vote for Ron, do you think they're going to understand that it could mean Ron Paul, right?
Only the true libertarians
See, that's what I
will
want to
get
know.
this joke.
That's what I want to know is like, for those of you out there, like we could crowdsource this, like your opinions on the vote for Ron, like a vote for Pedro shirt.
It's super clever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, people will be like, who's Ron? And then you can talk about it. Hey, I'm for Ron DeSantis, and I also like Ron Paul, and I also like, or you could just be like, I have a friend named Ron, and he's awesome.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not really going to question Stephanie on this one because Stephanie has come up with a lot of designs in the store that have sold really well. Yeah. So if you like the idea of a vote for Ron shirt, we'd love to hear from you. Yes. I'm dropping the all gun laws are an infringement link in the chats as well. So if you'd like to get one of those beautiful shirts, you can do that.
Please, if you have any other ideas, let us know because we seriously make those. Like anytime somebody tweets out to us and says, hey, this is an awesome idea, we seriously get on making it right away.
Yeah. So if you do, like, we make custom orders.
Yes.
And if you're in the United States, all shipping is free.
Yes.
So check out apforlibertyshop.com. Get yourself a Trumpy Buddha, an all gun laws are infringement. Oh, looks like we've got somebody on the line. We've got a caller on the line.
From Jacob Champion.
Oh, there he is. We're going to accept that call and we're going to do this live. F it, we'll do it live. Joining us now, my old friend, Jacob Champion on the line. Good morning, Jacob.
Oh, good to talk to you, Austin. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so Jacob, you wanted to
thing in.
Yeah, you wanted to talk. No, it's okay. You wanted to talk about the gun law regulations. Go ahead.
Yeah, I used to work in gun policy, and I actually was active in it in 2018 when the rule was promulgated. And if you go to the Federal Register, you can actually pull up rulemaking. And if I could just quote from it.
Oh yeah, please. We love facts.
So under the notice proposed rulemaking, so I had the relevant section pulled up. But basically it's talking about machine guns are regulated so as to be prohibited because you can't register them anymore under both the Gun Control Act and the National Firearms Act. And it specifically defines automatic weapons or a machine gun specifically under Section 447.11 provides that a machine gun, machine pistol, submachine, or automatic rifle is a firearm originally designed to fire or capable of being fired fully automatically by the single pull of a trigger. Now, the thing with bump stocks is that you just pull the trigger really, really quickly. And so in the past, under the Obama administration, they had looked into trying to ban them, but found that under the statutory requirements, which clearly defines what a machine gun is, they could not do it because there was still just a single pull of a trigger. Now, devices that modify guns with like internal springs, those could be qualified as making a semi-automatic and automatic, but the bump stocks didn't necessarily use that.
So then, where did Trump get? Where did Trump feel like he got the authority to ban bump stocks if Obama didn't think he had the authority?
Well, that's the issue. There was no new statutory authorization from Congress. You could argue that Congress doesn't have the statutory authority to do it. But if we're going with the theory that anything Congress does is legal, that some justices seem to hold, as long as they do it in the right way, they can violate the Bill of Rights however they want. But
they always do.
There was no new statutory authority passed to clarify the definition of machine gun. And so they took this new rule to try to clarify that states that even if it is multiple pulls of a trigger, if it's using some sort of system that was automatic, where it's just using the recoil of the gun, that could qualify in changing a legal AR-15 into a illegal automatic AR-15. This, though, as you mentioned, the belt loop issue, right? Which means that if anybody is skilled enough or foolish enough to use their belt loop to use the recoil to hit the trigger rapidly in succession, their finger is then considered an illegal accessory.
The fingers.
Oh, what a tangled web.
So whether or not a particular weapon is a legal weapon to own or an illegal weapon to own, depending upon the skill of the user, because the user is now considered part of the firearm.
This makes no sense at all, Jacob.
Blame the person, not the gun.
So I actually just did a quick Google search, and there was an article in Reuters from April 25th of a court case out of Kentucky where a circuit court has ruled that the definition on a machine gun is not clear enough to be enforceable.
Wow.
Seems to be in violation of the statute and seems to be ambiguous. So that's the second, I believe, second circuit court ruling. The first one might have been a district. It seems to be the second ruling invalidating the bump stock ban.
Well,
legislation.
Right.
So,
And now we're dealing with this whole pistol brace rule with the Biden administration. That's a big mess.
yes, that is. And unfortunately, I don't have the details on that. I've kind of got out of the gun business a couple of years ago, so I'm not up to speed on all the quota federal regulations changes that are coming down with that. But
well,
I would love to be able to talk to you about that, but I don't have the details.
No,
but
it's not a problem.
If you have any questions, they kind of lay out the problems actually in the notice of proposed rulemaking in the Federal Register. And let's see, if anybody's interested, it's Federal Register, Volume 83, number 246 from Wednesday, December the 26th of 2018.
Talk about a champion. That is.
You've done your research. It's very impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jacob Champion and I go way back to the Rand Paul for president. Yeah. When we drove out to Kentucky together.
So
and
you really know each other.
yeah, Jacob and I know each other. We're boys. Before we met when we were swinging young bachelors in Washington, D.C., before we met our loves of our lives. Hey, Jacob, thanks for your phone call today, brother. And thanks for being a supporter of the Wake Up America show.
All right, thank you. Appreciate being able to contribute.
Yep, thank you very much. That's Jacob Champion, ladies and gents. Why don't we give him a round of applause?
Smart.
Yes, that was awesome.
Fine print that most people don't even know how to find.
Well, he worked in firearms, so on firearms issues. So grateful to have him. Make sure you give him a thank you, Jacob Champion, over there in the chat.
All of us, we just spew out information that we hear on like Alex Jones show or random shows, but this guy actually reads.
Exactly. Just use ChatGPT to get his opinions from. All right, so it's time for us to segue and move on to a different topic. We've got an exciting announcement to make for ourselves, but
so many announcements.
But we're not there yet. We're going to tease it out at the end of this segment. We've got a list of 10 simple daily habits to change your life. Stephanie and I, we're all about the self-improvement and stuff like that. We're always looking for ways to improve, to like grow our to build up our lives and make ourselves happy, and to tweak, make things better, and
the best version of ourselves.
And then the number one thing that is on this list of habits to change your life, I don't know that we have implemented this just yet, but it does sound like a good idea. Plan your day the night before.
Right? I do that.
You do that?
Yes.
You're better at that.
I do that.
Me, not
That's
me.
probably why I give you so many reminders. I'm like, remember to do this tomorrow.
You're so good about that. See, I don't need to do it because you do it for me, which I appreciate.
Your daily planner.
You are, but I have to.
A planner that I keep, a paper one. And so I know which clients I have, which day, what's scheduled for that day. Am I going grocery shopping? What am I doing?
Right. So one habit to change your life, plan your day the night before. Well, I plan the show the day before, so
you're halfway there.
Halfway there, but without my Steffi, I would be lost. Number 2, I think that we all qualify for, everybody who's watching us, wake up early. Yes. Do we?
Gosh. I know. I want to go to sleep.
I know. Wake up early.
Too early. Is there such a thing as waking up too early? Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's where we're at.
Right, but here's the thing: we have a bedtime routine, right?
We do,
and we don't always perfectly stick to it, but like for the most part, it's kind of like, hey, it's 8 p.m. We need to be getting to bed because we got to get up early.
We were sitting out in our patio with our string lights that you put up.
I know, and I was drinking whiskey a little too late, and I woke up with a headache because of it.
Oh, did you?
Old, yes.
Oh, you poor boy.
Oh, I know. But it was too delicious, and it felt so nice sitting out there last night. So number 3, though, we do, and we shall continue, and we shall do tomorrow morning, is exercise.
Oh,
yes,
that is a tough one.
I know. Most people are like,
"Oh God, no, God, please, no, no."
That'll change your life, though. I'm telling you.
here's the thing though, like, you don't have to run a mile or something, just stretch. I mean, literally just moving your body, taking a walk, just move your arms right now.
Well, here's the
That's
thing.
exercise.
So I hated exercise for a long time
Yeah.
in my life until I found an exercise that I enjoy.
Mhm.
And whenever I would go to the gym and like just lift weights or whatever, I would always get bored and then I would always slack. But when I found karate, when I found martial arts, it changed because there's no time to be bored. There's no chance to be bored because you're trying to figure out how to do a move. So your brain is engaged the whole time because
Yeah.
it's not just monotonous punches over and over again. There's tricks and tips, and you're working with a partner, and when you're working with a partner, you have more responsibility, right? So
Yeah.
when we're doing bag work, right? So bag training, we're punching
It's
bags
where
and kicking
you're
bags.
holding this padding so that somebody's kicking it or hitting it.
You have to pay attention.
Oh yeah, you got to be like Houdini and be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, be able to take a blow.
punch your stomach.
Right. So find an exercise that you actually enjoy that doesn't feel like a chore. There's probably something out there for everybody when you say.
Yeah.
Number
Oh,
4.
absolutely. I mean, nowadays they have all sorts of things. They have like goat yoga, right? So it's like if you love animals and you don't want to exercise, do that.
Number 4, optimize your life for your priorities. Yes. Identify what truly matters to you. That's a tough one.
I'm not good at that. You're better at that than I am. I
Right.
don't do my hobbies very well.
Right. Yes. No, I do.
Yeah.
I optimize. Like you caught me yesterday playing a little Civilization, right? So like, but I'm working at the same time on my phone, booking guests and
Yeah.
getting the show ready. But I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. Life would be gray and dull. What was that quote that I said the other day? It was actually in the game Civilization. It was like, oh, those who do not find time for recreation will find time for illness.
Yes.
It's true.
Oh, stress is a killer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Self-care is needed. I tell this to all my clients. Put self-care into your daily to-do list, even though I don't do that for myself very much.
Right, right. Stephanie is an excellent counselor, I would say.
Oh.
A lot of people wish that she was her therapist, but she
Yes.
can't do
I can't
requests.
help everybody.
Nope. Number 6, stay focused. That's one I struggle with, right? Staying off of distractions. Focus enhances productivity.
Well, when you're on Delta 8, it helps you with your focus, actually.
That's true. I know. Isn't that funny how it's like usually it would make people very distracted, but for me it does it right. But minimize distractions, take regular breaks to rest your mind. Breaks, you got to do it.
Oh, I don't take breaks either.
You got to take breaks. You got to go for a walk. You accomplish more tasks more efficiently if you learn how to focus by taking breaks.
So right.
We're talking.
You killed me with that. Because when you come home from the show, you're like, let's take a walk. And I'm like, okay, I only have 5 minutes. And I'm like really anxious. I'm like, I got 5 minutes. I can't. You're like, let's go for a walk.
Yes. And then you come back and you feel refreshed, right? You feel, it feels good. No,
touch that grass.
Exactly. And get the ticks all over us. We got to keep moving. We're running out of show time. Use a to-do list. Yes. Use a to-do list. We're talking about the 10 simple habits to change your daily life. Use a to-do list. Stephanie, you are the queen of the to-do list. I'll tell you that. Yes.
When we got married, I had quite the to-do list for our wedding to-dos.
Yes. To-do
That's how
list.
I planned the entire wedding.
To do. The to list. To-do list. To-do. Number 8, have gratitude. I would say that we practice gratitude.
Oh, absolutely. We're walking around our house. We're just like,
Yep.
look at the trees.
Yep. Cheeky Mare says you should get some sunshine every day. Absolutely.
Yes.
Number 9, I'm awesome at and you are terrible at.
What?
Stay hydrated.
I know. I could use this entire water bottle throughout the day and still not be done with it.
Brandon Meyer must have read our minds. He says, how am I going to better myself? How I'm going to better myself is to try to hydrate myself better while drinking. Oof, yeah.
Well, they have those IV things in Las Vegas where you can hydrate afterwards.
Really?
So you don't have a hangover.
Good God, I don't think I would do that.
Thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mental health. We're talking about it. Number 10, be kind in words and actions. Kindness towards oneself and others fosters positive relationships and improves self-esteem.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Although you like the negative self-talk because you think it motivates you, but
It works for
very
me.
rare.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the positive. I like the neutral self-talk where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not perfect, but you know what? I can do things to change.
I know. Right. Well, Stephanie, now that we've gone through the top 10 list of simple habits to change your life, it's time for us to talk about an exciting announcement. Are we ready? Okay. You want to go ahead and tell them?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, as you all know, I am a therapist, and one of the platforms I work on is called BetterHelp. So, that is a telehealth website where teens, couples, and individuals can go to seek therapy, not psychiatry. So, you can't get medicine there, but you can talk to somebody. So, all you have to do is go to BetterHelp. Now, here's the other part of the surprise.
You want me to tell them?
Yeah.
So we actually now have partnered officially with BetterHelp in order to provide you with their services. So essentially, BetterHelp is now, I guess you could say, sponsoring the Wake Up America show in part. Yes.
Yes.
So betterhelp.com/AP for Liberty. We frequently talk about mental health topics on this show.
Yeah.
And, I may be, a guy who loves martial arts and fishing and being outside and all that kind of stuff, but I absolutely believe in the power of therapy for people who seek it out.
I mean,
We
you've
talked
seen
about,
me. I talk about how my clients are progressing so much.
and
it's
Stephanie is one
so
of those
awesome.
people. You'd be lucky to get Stephanie as a counselor on BetterHelp
But you
because
can't have me.
no, you can't, but you can have someone else. Somebody like
Conflict of interest. I stay good on my ethics.
Yes. So betterhelp.com/AP for Liberty. You can sign up today to get help from a counselor if you've been saying to yourself, gosh, I really need somebody to talk to about my problems. Because a lot of people, Stephanie, as you realize, they don't want to talk to their family or friends or people about some personal issues.
Right.
They want to be able to work it out with somebody who's neutral, who's not going to take maybe their partner's side. They feel like they're being mentally abused and they need somebody.
You're a cheerleader.
Yeah, somebody who'll be your cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
Your sponsor essentially, right?
Give you coping skills, help you reach the goals that you want to reach.
For sure.
And the other thing about BetterHelp, other than talking to somebody, the other cool thing about it is you can attend webinars about different topics that you might want to learn more about. You can attend support groups, so you can talk to other people who are going through things such as like grief, for example. You can also write in a journal that BetterHelp has right on the platform, and it gives you prompts. So if you want to learn how to just have an outlet and express yourself in a healthy way, use that journal. And the entire website is HIPAA compliant. It's all confidential, private. And when you do talk to a therapist, you can do it by text chat. We call it asynchronous chatting, which means you can type to your therapist 24 hours a day and they will respond to you at least once a day. And then also you can do live text chatting where you're communicating live just by doing like AOL Instant Messenger kind of stuff. You can also do the phone or you can do video. So depending on your comfort level.
There you go. Well, there's a lot of good reasons to seek help. And if you do, then visit betterhelp.com/AP for Liberty.
I love it. I mean, that platform is really good to me as a contracted employee. And I know that they're really great to their customers as well.
We got to give a shout out to Laura Lee Marsh. She's taken off. Laura, thanks so much for watching today.
Thank you, Laura.
And thanks for joining our ambassador program. We're very grateful to you. I had a nice conversation with her last night when we were sitting out on the back porch. So we've added 2 ambassadors today. Cheeky Mare, our friend Libby's joining us today as well.
Cheeky Mare's doing a good job in there.
She's joined the moderator team.
Links.
I know. She's really helping out.
Yeah.
It's Laura Lee Marsh as well. Thank you to our 2 new ambassadors for the Wake Up America show. I appreciate you very much. All right, it's time for us to move on. You know what? It's time for us to have some fun, Stephanie. Do you want to talk about?
We weren't already?
No, even more fun. Even more fun. So we're going to move on to boomer trends. Boomer trends.
Those are the things that I like.
Yes, 12 boomer trends that millennials desperately want to go extinct. Yes.
Am I a millennial? What's a millennial again?
I think you are a millennial. So
1988?
81 to like 93 or something like that. So I'm pretty sure. Somebody hook us up in the chat with the millennial age, but I'm pretty sure you are. So because I'm like the geriatric, I'm like the oldest a millennial can be.
You're like a borderline boomer?
No, borderline Gen X.
Oh, okay.
So Gen X, boomers. It's boomers, Gen X, millennials,
Gen Z,
Zoomers, and now there's Zillennials.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I just can't even. I can't.
You need to go to betterhelp.com/AP for Liberty.
I understand.
Yes. We're going to talk about boomer trends that millennials desperately want to go extinct, right? And I love this first one because even though I work in I have a shop and I'm supposed to make everybody happy, the customer's always right. Sometimes the customer isn't always right. The customer is always right. That's kind of a boomer trend, right? The customer's always right. The customer's always right. Sometimes the customer's an asshole.
No. If you want to make money, customer needs to be sort of right.
Always right? Always right?
Always.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's sometimes I feel as if the customer is always wrong, but no, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes we'll have people messaging us, about our shop or something, and we have to compromise with them about issues that they might be describing
I
to
feel
us.
I feel like 99 times out of 100 on the AP for Liberty shop that like we, if somebody's upset, then we
Usually
solve it.
customers right for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not, sometimes the customer is actually just trying to that some people complain because they want to get free stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're actually not right. They're in there actually trying to exploit you.
Yeah.
Right. There are a lot. I know people who do this kind of stuff. They go and they know that if they complain, they're going to get a free meal or something like that. Yeah. And they do that specifically in order to screw the business. Right. So it's not like theft, but it's definitely scammy. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And Brandon Meyer agrees. He says that saying has encouraged bad behavior. Exactly what I'm talking about here. The other,
I think, though, telling someone when they're always wrong, that's not going to be good for your business.
Oh, no, I agree.
It's going to make people not want to come in.
Yeah, no, I agree. The second one on this list, I could probably dispute. It says millennials think it's wrong to judge people for the choices they make in their lives. They believe everyone has the right to make decisions based on their values and beliefs without fear of criticism or judgment from others. Millennials want to see baby boomers become more accepting and understanding of other people's
Wouldn't that
choices,
be nice?
right?
But it's not realistic.
You may ask, how are baby boomers judgmental? They may be judgmental about the clothes people wear, their religious or spiritual beliefs, lifestyle choices. Millennials would rather baby boomers focus on the things that bind us together than the things that divide us. What do you think about that one?
Right. Would be great because judgment hurts all of us. I mean, it hurts our self-esteem, especially religious judgment. I mean, I work with a lot of people with religious trauma, so it causes them anxiety. I mean, it sounds kind of libertarian, right? Just let people be what they want to be.
Sort of.
But I think you should be able to give someone critical feedback.
Absolutely.
In a job, for example, when you're giving a review of a boss.
Exactly.
I mean, you
Cheeky
should be
Mare
able to
said
tell
it.
someone how they can improve.
Cheeky said it right. She
Yeah?
says, I can silently judge all I want. Exactly.
If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
No, I love it. That's a good one, but I think we can quibble with it. The next one is being ignorant about technology and not wanting to learn. So, were you always the person who had to? Because your mom's a boomer.
Oh,
Did you always have to fix the technology, Stephanie?
I still do.
Yes, you see, you still do.
Thanks for my mother on Facebook Marketplace
And
right
she
now.
will not learn the technology, right? Don't you just wish that she would just learn how to post?
She's learned bits and pieces, which I'm really proud of. And here's the thing, I totally understand because scientifically speaking, at the age of 25, you actually don't learn as well. So starting at the age of 25, our brains just don't consume information like it used to. So you can't really blame these older people in terms of teaching an old dog new tricks because they really are deficient in that area in ways. But I know, motivation, they got to be motivated to try at least.
You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586.
I feel like I'm on American Idol. You know how they do the different hand signals when you're reading out the number? 315.
Well, we want to take it slow. 573
5
7 3
3
319
1 9
15
1
86.
8.
That's 573-319-1586. You can text the show. We'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts on the news of the day. All right, next one on the list of boomer trends that millennials wish would die. Stories about how they played outside in the dirt because they didn't need electronics. The boomers always telling us, put our phone down. These kids on the phone, but they're always on the phones, right? Baby boomers tend to tell stories about how they used to play outside in the dirt because they didn't need electronics. But then what if there were electronics at that time, right? Would they have still played in the dirt?
Probably not as much because that would have been very tempting. Although, I mean, you and I talk about when we have kids, we don't want them to be glued to technology.
No, but let's not pretend as if if cell phones existed in the 1950s, that boomers wouldn't have been playing with cell phones. They absolutely would have been playing with cell phones, right?
Exactly.
Right. And you should be
Everyone always
open-minded.
thinks that they had it the best.
Well, I think people need to be more open-minded about technology. Technology has its downsides for sure, but people ignore all the positives because for the negatives. But people love to focus on negative stuff. But I mean, if these phones weren't life-changing for us, I mean, imagine if they just disappeared overnight, right? Think about how do you think most people in the United States would be able to figure out maps?
No, including me. I mean, I need MapQuest at least. I need somebody to write down the instructions for me.
Take away everybody's phones and then see. You know what? I tell you what, that would probably be a really good test of society. Just let GPS for 1 week. I say we experiment. Turn off all the GPS satellites and just see how much everybody dislikes their cell phones. How's that?
Do you know why I initially got a smartphone? It was because I missed a movie time. Because I looked it up online and I ended up coming to the movie theater at the wrong time and I had no idea because I didn't have a smartphone at the time.
Right.
So that's what prompted me to get a smartphone. I was
'cause-
like, this is it. I need to know what time the movie starts.
Well, it's not, knowing what time the movie starts is one thing, and then, being able to actually navigate to the location you're looking for is another. Brandon Meyer says, I used a Thomas guide for years. Yes.
Tom?
No, Thomas guide, like paper maps.
Okay.
Cheeky Mare says, I can definitely still use a map. You know what the problem is, though, with the maps is that, like, a lot of times when the roads start to intersect, there's like 3 to 4 different ways to go. So it's really hard to tell which one is like the right exit to get off on and things like that. So when you're using the paper, and then it's kind of like you need to be looking at the road, not the paper when you're going.
My gosh, I know. I remember back in the day when I would be like driving to see my friends, I'd have my light on in the car trying to read the MapQuest while I'm driving. I don't know how we didn't get an accident. Seriously.
Here's one that I don't really worry about too much because my dad's like 2.5 hours away. Or your mom's lives in Michigan. Randomly visiting without checking if it's okay. How do you feel about that one? Randomly visiting without checking if it's okay. I kind of feel like if that were happening to us, we would probably be annoyed.
Yeah, we would definitely set boundaries.
Yeah.
I know that that's a problem for a lot of people that live close to family. That's one reason why they're like, I have to stay at least like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy for
So
this
it's not
to
just
happen.
easy to just drop by, right?
Yes,
So
but I don't know. Is that really a thing? I guess so. Because back in our parents' day, they used to literally live next door to their family members.
Oh, yeah.
Like my mom, like her grandparents, live next door, like aunts and uncles upstairs, downstairs. People lived in 2-family flats. So it was very common.
We're talking about, if you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson, joined by my beautiful wife, Stephanie Peterson.
Hello.
Make sure you click that like button if you're joining the chat. It's Family Friday, so that's why my wife is here. And on Family Friday, we do have the big topics. If there's a big story today, earlier where we talked about the DeSantis-Trump Nazi feud. And then we usually like to lighten things up and just kind of goof around on Fridays, get people in a good mood before we head off into the weekend. Right now, we're talking about boomer trends that millennials wish would die. And here's one. This is a really good one and pertinent to our audience.
Yeah.
Supporting a candidate just because they represent a party.
I mean, is that why so many boomers like Trump?
No, I think, some do, right? But I know a lot of Republicans dislike Trump. But, even a lot of libertarians, like they're like, if they're not a libertarian, I'm not voting for them. I only vote for libertarians and things like that. And when I saw that when I was in the LP, and that's fine, but
Pretty much mostly just vote for LP as well.
right. But here's the thing, the baby boomers do this. They grew up in a time when the main parties, that really was the only choices. But a lot of millennials do kind of look at third party candidates and try and see outside the box.
That generation of boomers, I mean, they were just programmed to just, do what I say. Don't question. That's how their parents raised them. Just don't think for yourself. Just kind of follow the crowd. Don't analyze anything. Don't reflect. So that's how they are.
Right. Somebody texted in today and said that I couldn't get the Rumble chat to work. I think you do have to be logged in to Rumble.
You do.
You have to have an account in order to
Yes.
be able to chat on Rumble. So just FYI. Also, let's give it up for our Rumblers this morning. Good morning, Rumblers.
Hello, Rumblers.
If you're watching and listening to us, join us and click subscribe on the channel. We'd appreciate that. Will Run Riot over on Rumble says, I have a basic phone with no data connection, and I haven't been happier in years.
That's awesome.
I've cut my screen time down drastically, dramatically increased productivity, and spend more time with my family. That's awesome, man.
I mean, I think I just mentioned this to you recently.
Mm-hmm.
What would we do with all that time that we spend on social media? If we spend like 3 hours a day on our phones, what else could you be doing with that time?
I know. Like Jeff Carson used to lecture me on that back when I was running for office about not being on my phone too much. So I know that it definitely is a big time waster. Lawn care obsession is listed on this one as another one of trends that boomers have, right? Their obsession with maintaining a perfect lawn, right? So
1950s neighborhoods.
a lot of
I like those neighborhoods. They're super cute.
I do too. Millennials would rather use their free time to pursue meaningful hobbies instead of obsessing about how green and weed-free their lawns are. I feel like I don't obsess over our lawn, but I do take care of it. I do maintain our lawn.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're always out there when it gets too long. But I think nowadays, this new generation, they've like gone to the other extreme and they like have signs out in front of their house saying like, this is a bee-friendly environment. And they have like weeds all over the place with like, random flowers growing wildly. And that's like the trend. It's just to like make your landscape part of nature.
I am opposed to this millennial trend. You can, if you want bees, put them in a hive and keep bees, right? But for the other,
them to have, things to eat.
yeah, well, put things to eat in the beehive that you keep on your property with your nicely
put sugar water,
yeah,
so they can eat.
well manicured lawns are an American tradition. The gender pay gap is listed on this one, which I have to give a big L.
I mean, in my own profession, there has never been a gender pay gap. I mean, my profession is pretty much female run.
Well, here's the
anyway.
thing. There is actually a gender pay gap, but it's women make more money than men. When you actually control for certain variables, there is a gender pay gap, and women have more advanced degrees, women the same age groups, women who work the same amount of hours. So the problem is that there's a lot of lazy women out there, and they don't want to work hard, and they don't show up to work for as long an hour as men. And so there was this what they called the gender pay gap, because all they did was compare men and women who were in the same job, but they didn't compare how hard and how long the women worked, or if the women got pregnant and dropped out of the workplace.
Right.
And so therefore they concluded that there's a gender pay gap. Well, ladies, you can't just not work as many hours as a man and not work as hard as a man and drop out of your job because you want to have a baby and say, I should be paid the exact same as a man. If you want to have a baby, that's fine. We'll have a baby, right? You don't want to be the baby anymore. You're going to have a baby, right? So you don't get to be the babies anymore, ladies. You have to be adults, which means that if you want to make the same as a man, you have to work as hard as a man. But when women work as hard as a man, Stephanie, when they work as many hours as a man, when they don't have a baby and they decide to choose their career, they make more than men. So we need to even out the gender pay gap. We need to reduce women's salaries because they're making more than us at this point in time.
I don't know. I mean, on BetterHelp, they pay me the same as men, so
yeah, you get paid.
That's why I like BetterHelp.
Yeah, well, you probably get paid more than men, to be honest, because they love them some female counselors. Although they probably would love to have more male counselors because there probably aren't very many male counselors.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be a male nurse, I bet you could probably get yourself a good job.
Absolutely. Males and female industries, like male teachers.
The workhorse mentality that they demand from employees, another one on the list.
Quiet quitting of the new generations.
Yes. The workhorse mentality. Millennials are more focused on quality rather than quantity. They understand a good employee doesn't necessarily put in the most hours, they say. This is why the gender pay gap. So the most focus is on results, productivity, and innovation. I agree with that.
Absolutely. If you can make the stuff in a smaller amount of time, go for it.
Jamie Marie Pope says, I can do whatever I want, sir. Very funny.
It's true. The last generation, they were all about just work until you die.
Right.
Have a mediocre job.
They think that, working itself is itself a good, but I mean, you can, it's kind of like the old Keynesian fallacy that we live in today, where it's like, if during the Great Depression, if people aren't working, the government should pay people to dig ditches and then fill them back up again, right? So you're not doing anything productive, right? Just working, but you're not being productive, then you're not really contributing anything. You're just digging ditches and filling them back up again. So it's important to be productive and to have a work-life balance, because the reality is that life is too damn short, man. Nobody laid on their deathbed and said, I wish I had put in more hours at the plant or at the office, right? They all say, wish I'd spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
Wish I had taken that vacation. Wish I'd gone to Japan, right?
I mean, Elon Musk on his deathbed, he might be like, I wish I had sent more rockets to space, and
He might, but
I'm
he's
sure he
autistic,
would,
for
but
God's sakes.
exactly.
He's not like the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to live like Elon Musk.
It's a boomer. So
Is he? Yeah, I guess, he might
yeah.
be Gen X, but
Yeah.
we'll see. But here's the thing: most people, I don't want to live like Elon Musk. You know,
Yeah.
like I appreciate and respect and admire the great men and women of our society and the sacrifices that they make in order to bring us incredible things.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that we all have to be like that, right? You know, that we don't all want to sleep at the office, to run Twitter.com and things like that.
Yeah.
I want to, I get to bed at 8:00 at night, and I get up in the morning, I do my job, and I bring in the Wake Up America show, and I run the shop, and I work hard.
Yeah.
But around 4 or 5 o'clock, I take a break, I go for a walk, I play a game or two and stuff like that. Then I come back hard, and I take a nap, an hour nap, and then I come back and I write the show for the rest of the evening until we go to bed.
Right.
I've got my routine, but you've got to, again, those who don't make time for recreation will make time for illness.
I think too, nowadays we don't have to worry so much about surviving. We're going to survive. We're not out in the wilderness.
That's true.
Yeah, so we can focus more on our higher needs, that self-actualization.
Corey C says he got laid off from a high-paying job and realized that my family life and hobbies are worth the cut. Wow,
Yeah,
that's great. Good for you, man.
Absolutely.
Elon was born in 1971, so I think that makes him Gen X, pretty sure.
All right.
This is a boomer trend that needs to die. And according to this list, it says calling instead of texting.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about that one, Stephanie.
Mother and sister are into this. Now, my sister, she's a geriatric millennial, but she loves calling. And I'm just always like, text, because I don't have like an hour to chat at a time. And my mom loves to call as well, which I'm cool with that because we're long distance, so that's nice. But it's like for any younger people, I'm like, come on now.
Shouldn't you be able to just text? Right. Rambler Girl over on Rumble says, I homeschool our 4 kids and it's a full-time job. Couldn't be happier, and I look forward to every new day. That's awesome, Rambler Girl.
Yes, I told you, like if I did that whole housewife thing and didn't work,
well, I tell you,
I'd be all
well, I told you the other day. Here's the thing: you can be, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, that's fine. I'll give you an allowance, and then you can decide, what you want to spend your money on here and there. You don't want to work, you don't have to. You stay home, you take care of the house the whole time, and just have babies and all that, but you'll have an allowance.
Yeah, I mean, my worth comes from my work. That's just how my brain is. So
I understand it.
I can't get away from that for myself, but it would be a very nice ideal world.
Well, your worth to me comes from your sexiness.
Thank you.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
That's what happens when you exercise. You get sexy.
It's true. If you're just tuning in the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. Glad to have you here. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. We love to hear from our listeners. We actually had a caller earlier today.
Yeah,
Jacob Champion called. That was very nice.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. But the Wake Up America show is brought to you by listeners and viewers like you, as well as our sponsors over at Lear Capital, who are our friends in the gold and silver marketplace. Yes, we want you to visit LearAustin.com today to find out more about how to invest in gold and silver. And here's the thing, it seems daunting, right? If you've never invested in precious metals, you think to yourself, so what do? Do I just buy and they send me a gold brick or something like that? Well, yeah, they can do that. But a lot of people who are looking at their retirement accounts getting drained and absolutely battered by inflation and by the stock market right now, you might want to say to yourself, hey, I'd like to secure my retirement, and I'm tired of these fluctuations in the stock market. I really would like some security. If you don't have precious metals in your portfolio, you're missing out on that important part of your portfolio to protect your financial security. You can invest in precious metals, actual physical metals, in your retirement account, and you can find out more by getting a free gold and silver packet from our friends over at Lear Capital. I highly recommend that you visit and get the free gold and silver packet. You can do that at their website, but the best way to give them is to give them a call. 1-800-885 2175 is the phone call number. Lear Capital has decided to sponsor the Wake Up America show because they believe in the message of economic freedom and personal liberty just like I do. I'm not the biggest podcast in the world. We're not the biggest show in the world, but we are growing. And it's in large part thanks to our friends over at Lear Capital. So if you decide to call them, make sure you say thank you and let them know, hey, I love the Wake Up America show. Austin and Steffi are on Family Fridays is a treat for me. I love to tune in and listen to my kids. Let them know how much you appreciate the show, because they will say, hey, great, we know that Austin, investing in Austin and Stephanie has been a good idea. And you would be investing in yourself as well. So everybody benefits. You benefit, we benefit, Lear Capital benefits. Everybody wins by visiting learaustin.com or write this number down, LEARAUSTIN.com. You can become like Scrooge McDuck over there and swim in a pile of gold coins.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I like them because, I had my phone call with the Lear Capital, and they provided me with information on how to get started. And I like them because they keep checking in with me through email, just saying hey, here's the news about gold today. So they keep educating me. And also in my head, I'm like, yes, I really do have to get on that gold thing. So they're not super pushy. They just kind of send you news about gold and, where the stock market's at. And then it makes you be like, gosh, I really do need to get on this.
Get her done. That's right. So visit learaustin.com today. And if you've already done so, we'd love to hear your experience with Lear. Let us know what you think about that. All right. So we're talking today about boomer trends that millennials wish would go away. Not all of these things I necessarily agree with. I think this next one I'm a little bit iffy on here.
Okay.
But I think in general agree. Lack of individuality and self-expression was on this list. So they say millennials are more accepting of individuality and self-expression. They believe everyone should be free to express themselves in any way they choose, whether through fashion, music, or art. Baby boomers may have grown up when conformity was the norm.
Oh, yeah.
Millennials want baby boomers to embrace the diversity and uniqueness of individuals and celebrate their self-expression. My dad was not a conformist.
Oh, yes. He was a rebel.
He did join the military and he did serve, and he was in the special forces, but he would get in trouble. In the military. He almost got sent to Vietnam once because his colonel saw him as a troublemaker, but he didn't have to go, thankfully.
Wow.
But you have to know that the reason why I became a libertarian today is because my dad, although I think he's a little bit more conservative than I am, he was always very individualist. Right. And my brother was same thing, very individualist, free expression. That's something that we really prize in our family.
Yeah.
We never demanded conformity in our family. And I wonder if that isn't kind of what really contributed to me being more libertarian.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you feel about it, Stephanie, in terms of conformity? Do you feel like you were kind of pressured to conform growing up, or were you really free expression? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I wanted to be that perfect little girl, that innocent kid. So I think I just didn't want to admit a lot of things about myself until I was older. So yeah, I think I did feel that pressure to be that perfect little kid in my parents' eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Our friend Rambler Girl over on Rumble, she's our new friend today. It's nice to see the new commenters. We were talking yesterday about how we got a lot of people who usually watch us on Rumble, but they don't comment as much. So I'm glad to see you guys are commenting now because we want to make friends.
Yes.
Please
talk.
Yeah, Rambler Girl says, I was an accountant for 3 years before I met my husband. We didn't want our kids to be indoctrinated. There you go.
Yeah.
Nelson65 says, it was my new watch blocking the chat. Oh, that's why he couldn't chat over on Rumble. Okay, good to know. Rare Camellia on the YouTube stream says, my parents also treated me like an adult and valued my opinions and contributions. That's nice. Yeah. I don't know if that I had that same experience, but I mean, it wasn't my family was, once my mother started getting sick, then it was kind of, our family was in turmoil. So around the time of reason, when I started to kind of figure out life a little bit as a teenager, that's when when mom got cancer, it was okay, so it wasn't a normal family life anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think any parent should just have open conversations with your kid and don't be too critical on them, because that is what's going to make your kid feel very self-conscious, and it's going to affect their future relationships in adulthood.
Yeah, for sure. Let's finish this list of boomer trends that millennials wish would go away. And the last one on this one is, I don't know how I feel about this one. Their tendency for obvious or subtle racism.
Oh, yes.
So
They
this
do
is,
throw out certain slurs.
yeah, everyone, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do. Whenever they're behind closed doors, right? It would be like,
Right.
all of a sudden the slurs start
Well,
coming
my
out.
grandfather, even when the door wall was opened, he
Yes.
would start talking.
You're
Yes.
right, right. So baby boomers might still harbor some prejudice towards certain groups. In some cases, it's subtle and unconscious, while in other cases, it may be more obvious, which is why millennials believe it's important to call out and challenge any type of racism or bigotry when they see it, whether subtle or overt. That's not always true. Like sometimes you're just like, they're looking for a fight. You know what I mean? Like,
one extreme, and then the boomers are on another
well,
extreme,
yeah, it's
basically.
like, here's the thing, like you and I, like, we grew up in a different time, right? They lived in a time when it was common to say the N word, like as
Right.
not only like amongst themselves but in public, right?
Yep.
When I remember growing up in the '80s, I can't even say this word now on the stream, but the Jewish word is fegala. We used to say that word all the time, and it
Yeah.
was common to call people that word, right? A
Yes.
bundle of sticks. And it's basically the N word for gay people now. And it's become the N word for gay people because well, the N word is like if it's our word and you can't say it. Because here's the thing, I have a lot of gay friends like Brandon and all this kind of stuff like that. They use the F word a lot.
Right.
They
Right. They
call
can call each other
they call
that.
each other that, and they call them,
Yes.
and here's the thing, and when I'm hanging out with them, I can say it
Yeah.
because they know that I'm not like anti-LGBT, right, or
You're
whatever.
an ally.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah.
Allies are included.
And because if you have a sense of humor, they can detect it. There's a difference between saying it like hatefully, like I'm gonna kill you, F word,
Right.
versus
There's
like stop.
context.
That was a really, Austin, you're acting like a real, you know what, right now, singing that
Yeah.
musical theater song or something like that, right? But
Yeah, I mean, it's called implicit bias. It's like we all
Mhm.
have it just from our upbringing. And in
Mhm.
terms of the boomers, I mean, they felt the racial tensions back in the day.
Mhm.
They had to experience segregation, some of them. So, I mean, they just had a very different experience in history than we have.
Cries of treason over on Rumble today. Good morning, Sims. Was getting ready for work while listening.
Very
Make
good.
coffee and shower or chat was the choice. Glad you decided to chat.
Chat.
Yes.
Shower later.
Oh, exactly. We're only going to be here for
Yeah.
another like 12, 13 minutes.
Just spray some cologne on yourself.
And then you don't get any
You'll
Wake
be
Up
fine.
America show for the entire weekend. But then I will be here on Monday. Oh, and
I know he's working on Memorial Day. Can you believe it, people?
you know why? Because we got the redheaded libertarian.
I'm surprised she's working on Memorial Day.
I know
That
the
was
redheaded
awesome.
libertarian Josie will be joining us on Monday. She will be her first interview here on the Wake Up America show ever since she got all big and famous.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I remember when she first started, when her channel first came out on Twitter, and I was like, who is this?
Mhm.
And then the numbers kept rising and rising and rising, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and now she's like on first name basis with Elon Musk.
I
So it's
know.
pretty wild.
She's very influential.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. So I think that is it. That's the list of the boomer trends that millennials want to go
Old
away.
school. Guess I'm a little bit boomer, a
Mhm.
little bit rock and roll.
Mhm. Mhm. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. The show, you can text us today again at 573-319-1586. Chat after shower was the result, says Cries of Treason. Very funny.
Shower. I mean, phones are waterproof.
Yeah, some of them are.
do that.
Yeah, you could do that, right? What else do we have on the show? Oh, yeah. Well, let's finish with this topic, and it's an interesting one. Gentlemen's Club shakes and stirs up membership as women have been allowed to join. So
Okay.
some have hit back against this London venue's decision when it comes to gender equality. Now, the reason that this came up in my feed, the reason this came in my feed is because there's this libertarian. Actually, Camellia sent it to me, I think, last night, and it was an interesting topics.
Yeah.
So this is a woman by the name of Wanjiro Njoya. She's an author. She's a teacher. She's a libertarian, and has a very African name.
Yes.
And she says, women force their way into historic men-only club. Hooray! Great victory for sex-based feminists. And she says sex-based feminists are fighting on two fronts. On one front, they're fighting to destroy men's spaces. On the other front, they're fighting to defend women's spaces. Men support feminists to defend women's spaces, ignoring the fact that feminists happily destroy men's spaces.
That's a lot of words.
So let's
Okay.
let's unpack this. Okay. So sex-based feminists. So feminists in which like gender and gender equality and different things like that. This is like their MO, right?
What's the difference between a sex-based feminist and a feminist? Are they one and the same?
I would say that they want, not all feminists are sex-based, but all sex-based feminists are feminists, if we're going to be
Square, rectangle.
So let's be clear here.
Yep.
So sex-based feminists, right? They want to destroy men's spaces.
Okay.
Men are not allowed to have gentlemen's only clubs.
Okay.
You're not
so
allowed
it needs to be an all-gender club.
You're not allowed to have men-only sports. You're not allowed to have men-only games. You're not allowed to have men-only situations where only men are allowed. You cannot discriminate against women based on sex.
Okay. No segregation.
You can discriminate against men, but not against women, right?
So we can have women-only clubs. That's okay.
Yes, women-only clubs are fine, right? Because women need safe spaces to go to be with each other, and to be in a place where they can actually, commiserate with other women.
Like the women-only car and the train in Japan.
Exactly. Perfect example.
Yes.
Right. So, and that's because women think, oh, well, we need to be safe, right? From women invading our spaces, right?
And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
There are some creepy men out there. So get it. Like you should have the choice to be in an all-woman space, but you should also have the choice to be in an all-man space as a man. Because women can be flirtatious.
Mm-hmm.
They can violate a man.
They certainly can.
Yes.
Yeah, women can absolutely sexually assault men. So here's the thing. So men will support women to defend women's spaces. So men will say, "Oh yes, support these women. They should have their own space. They should have their right to have, an all-women train car, or have an all-women, supper club, or an all-women gym." A perfect example: ladies only gyms.
Women's areas and gym.
Women's only
gyms.
gym. Women's only gyms. What do you think would happen if there was a men-only gym?
The women would be like, "How dare you?"
Exactly. Right. So you're allowed to have spaces. Men are not allowed to have spaces.
That doesn't make sense to me. I think everyone should be able to have their space, whoever you are.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is the real reason why I am in favor of transgender women, biological men, being able to compete in women's sports. And the reason why it might seem a little twisted and a little sadistic. I'm against the mutilation of children. Okay, that's a separate subject. But I am absolutely for biological men being able to compete in women's sports, because y'all gonna learn today.
If you want to be inclusive, be inclusive completely.
Ladies, if you want to come into the men's clubs, I know some of you are saying right now, you're listening, I know, but ladies, y'all need to check yourselves before you wreck yourselves, okay? This is not a me problem. This is a you problem, and you need to fight it out amongst yourselves. But as it is, I will be an ally of my fellow men. I'm going to defend my fellow biological males like you're defending your fellow biological females, working your way into men's spaces. And I'm going to say that I can't wait to watch the games. One, because I'm going to be making some bets. I'm going to be doing some gambling.
It'll be pretty easy to bet on who's going to.
I'm glad you get that joke, because a lot of dumbasses didn't get that when I posted this the other day on Facebook.
Yeah.
A lot of retardos.
They don't really realize the true differences.
No, they're just dumb as hell. They're just dumb right-wingers who don't get what the hell the joke was, right? It went right over their heads, you know what I mean? I can't always teach the D students, though. So here's the thing. The joke was that I posted on Facebook that I supported Missouri. I supported Missouri's bill to legalize sports gambling. And I opposed the bill that would ban men from playing in women's sports.
Right.
The joke?
Oh my gosh.
Went right over their head. So I support the bill to legalize sports betting in Missouri.
Yep.
And I oppose the bill that would ban
yes.
biological
It's a
women
double
from playing
negative.
space. Right.
Yes,
I
yes.
opposed the bill that would ban men from competing in women's sports.
I get it.
Do we understand the joke here? Because I'm going to bet on the men playing in the sports, for God's
You want
sakes.
to win some money. That's what it is.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
So, anyways, I in order to make the point that the women need to leave men to have their own spaces, our own sports, our own locker rooms, our own gentlemen's clubs, places where, ladies, you are not welcome.
And I know segregation. Is that
it
legal?
is. It's voluntary
if
segregation.
You had segregation for
It's
races,
it's only wrong when it's done to minorities. You're allowed to discriminate against white people.
Are women a
those
minority?
Yes, women are considered a protected class.
There you go. That's why.
The only class of people in the United States that are not a protected class are white men under the age of 40.
Okay.
Now that I'm 42, I am now a part of a protected class. You can't discriminate against me because of ageism.
That's right.
But if you're a white male under the age of 40, you are the only group of people in American society that's not a protected class. White straight men under the age of 40 are it's okay to discriminate against. You can discriminate against them. So if you understand my point here, ladies, this is a civil war between y'all and the feminists. I will be supporting my fellow men, taking all of your daughter's scholarships, grinding your daughter's faces into the dirt on the soccer pitch, and watching the man in the dress destroy you on the battlefield, wherever it may be, until you back off out of our spaces. Okay. I will say it's time for us to stop having the men play in your soccer fields, take your scholarships away. Once you go and you grab your fellow ladies by the hair and you pull them back out of our spaces, let us have our gentlemen's clubs. Let us have our sports. Let us have our safe spaces, ladies. Yes, we want a safe space.
We need a safe space.
Yeah, we do. We do. We want a place. Yeah. And it's so offensive to a woman to be like, guess what? You're not welcome. Well, what is it? The Heat Man Woman Haters Club and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, stay away.
I mean, women talk badly about guys in their own circles,
exactly.
So men can talk badly.
We want to talk shit, ladies, and you don't get to come along. You're not invited. Stay out. He-Man Woman Haters Club. No, ma'am. All right. Well, how much of this is adjusted? How much is real? I'll leave that to you to figure out. Stephanie, what an awesome show. I got to give you applause. Another Family Friday. A lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching the Wake Up America show. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you click like and subscribe to our channel, whichever one you're watching us on right now. Have we offended everybody today? I think so, yes.
We haven't.
No, Stephanie, no.
I got to keep a good reputation.
Don't forget, we're now partnered with BetterHelp. So if you are seeking therapy, you can go to betterhelp.com/AP for Liberty.
They get a discount.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, BetterHelp.com.
It's subscription based, so it's not using insurance. It's all self-pay, but you will get a discount if you use Austin's link.
And don't forget, we have got for you over at AP for Liberty shop so many awesome, great products. Our new shirt, the All Gun Laws Are an Infringement shirt, is available now. And it is, remember, all shipping to the United States is free.
Well, we do
AP
get a lot of
Liberty
European
shop.
people buying stuff.
We do. Somebody from France bought one of our. Was it a Trump? No, it was a Trump shirt. Yeah. Somebody from France bought a Trump shirt from us the other day. So check that out over at ap4libertyshop.com. Thank you to Libby and to Laura Lee Marsh, our new ambassadors. Give them a round of applause.
Hats off.
Appreciate our new moderators. And we will see you on Monday because I will be working the Wake Up America show. We're going to have an awesome interview with Josie, the redheaded libertarian, will be joining us then.
Well, you all are in your jammies, not working. You can watch.
Yep, have a great day. Say bye, Steffi.
Bye, be free.
Be free. We'll see you on Monday at the Wake Up America show. Have a great Memorial Day weekend on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apeforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apeforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit aporlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.